James Thurston began his redemption run for the championship last week by winning to open up the playoffs. And I'm sure that's going to be his goal once again as we go back in action for our second race in the round of 10. What's yet to come, we don't know, but we've been here quite a few times before. It looks a little bit different, but this is still the same place down in Newton, Iowa. Welcome back to the Saturday Night Thunder Grand National Series, and this is what we've been waiting for. And that, of course, means it's about time that we go racing from Newton, Iowa, and we will get things rolling for race number 11 on the campaign. Welcome back live on FTN Broadcasting to tonight's coverage. It's great to have you here. I'll be your host for tonight's broadcast. I'm David Kreutz, commentating and producing, and drivers are getting set to roll this time by. Qualifying is on the way, and to this point, 7 of which have taken times. Fastest time set by Matthew White. White having himself a quick time, 132 miles an hour on the dot at speed. And there's Jordan Owens, the 45, sliding way high. 27 drivers have registered so far. White, the fastest of which. There is Jordan Kuntz in the number 99 here, and he finds himself getting ready to roll. Take a ride on board right now with Kuntz as he goes for his first of 2 laps up on the high side. Kuntz coming across the line, and you can see one thing drivers are already complaining about. It is loose. You get on the tires at all. When you're going through those corners, it is squirrely. Looks like the setup is really set where you got to wear yourself in, and you've got to get comfortable on warm rubber, because when it's cold, you are slow, and if you're not slow, you're slippery. Jack Drucker is now going to be sitting in 5th. Drucker is making his SNT debut tonight. We'll talk more about him as the night goes on. Braden Hunsicker goes 3rd with 1:11 left on the clock. You got Trey Holmes on the way in the number 19, right into turns 1 and 2. Holmes gets the ball rolling for his first quarter mile, and Trey is currently seated 18th. To this point, 16 drivers have taken a time. We'll see if Trey can crack the top 10, as it looks like he's got a fair shot at doing so. Coming out of 4, going down to that darker pavement, and that's exactly where these drivers want to go. Coming across the line, start-finish line sees Trey Holmes, and that time is not officially registered. He'll have to go for his second. "20 seconds left on the clock. And for Trey, this first lap, not going to be validated. It's double or nothing. And at the line for Holmes, looks like that time not going to sit either. So Holmes has gone through, and it looks like he won't get a time in. Ashton Miller, one of the many who won't as well, at the top of the board with 5 seconds remaining. It looks like the very familiar top 2. It's Matthew White this time up in front. James Thurston only 11 thousandths off, but he can't take the pole after winning last week. Matthew White, pole position. He's got it made to kick it off in Iowa. Five minutes left on the clock. White looking for a statement race after James Thurston. Well, he put it over his head last week with that 4th victory, and that was the statement. Over the last few weeks, over the last month and a half, really, these two drivers, White and Thurston, have been the best of the best. There really has been no comparison between the rest of the field and the 96 and 88 respectively. But Thurston getting the leg up with that opening playoff win. And with that being the case, he's got himself now an opportunity to either extend that advantage, or Matthew White, he might be able to take some back. White, big hit there, but all things considered, he's in a much better position now to try to strike back. This short track, all about tires, which means track position could carry the field through. 3 minutes and 39 seconds left on the clock. Thurston still taking his laps. And the entire field of 27 are set to get the ball rolling, and now they're all ordered up. We know exactly who's in the field, but let's know and let's figure out where they are in order. At the top of the board, a very familiar name. It's the number 88, and that is Matthew White. White, finding himself inside of row number 1, grabs the pole position for the first time in the playoffs, and this is for him. Another pole position he's been looking out for desperately. Matthew takes it as he gets alongside defending race winner and championship leader James Thurston. Thurston goes second in the 96 with Braden Hunsicker then in third. Fourth is Cameron Chandler, returning after missing last week. And P5 is the number 9 of Bryce Benton. Jack Drucker, coming over from the Integrity Racing League, begins in 6th place today. It's his first SNT race and his first race on FTN since early October. Then from there, you'll have Jordan Coots in 7th. 8th place, Henry Kaloff. 9th is Rick Spencer Walt, and Aiden Donahue, the number 82, concludes in the top 10. From there on out, you'll have Ethan Burrell 11th, Matthew Weeks then in 12th. You'll have Christian Herklotz 13th and Vinny Tigner P14 with John Meeks and Andres Varas 15th and 16th respectively. Last 5 drivers in the top 20. It's Varas, Tyler Seaver, Ashton Miller, Aaron Kovnat, and Trey Holmes for the top 20. Then from there on out, last guys in the field, they have not taken times. Kenneth Gorell, Connor Asbell, Asher Bunkley, the 27 of Jamie Lockwood, and then the 45 of Jordan Owens, Joseph Miller in the 16, and the number 20 of Trent Jones. We've got a packed field of 27 drivers, and as such, it's a very small field with a small track. That's how it comes down. Packed in number. How are they all going to fit in? That's the big question, and we'll figure out how. But leading off is Matthew White in the number 88, and he bests his championship rival. That's the man, the 96 of James Thurston. Watch out for your front row. They're set to go, and that is your starting grid from Iowa. It's the first time we've gone here this season, of course, in SNT. We go there twice a year, and the big question becomes, what happens now that the stakes are higher and the track looks a little bit different? Last time we went racing, it was the spring of 2025 in the IORA Cup Series, and that was the first run after the remodel on iRacing Iowa, getting a repavement, and as you can see, got that darker inner groove, fresher rubber, and the grooves aren't particularly worn in, so drivers can't get as comfortable on their way down and in, or putting the power down through and through. WeatherTech number 88 of Matthew White might be the best of all in doing that. He's had a steady hand, and he's put the power down time in, time out, and as he comes across the line again, it's no different. "13 seconds left on the clock. Watch out for Braden Hunsicker. Hunsicker always quick when it comes to qualifying in practice. Now, the question becomes, what can he do in that race? Hunsicker's been looking good over the past few weeks. Execution, the big question. We say it again and again. James Thurston, he had the field in his full control last week and was clearly the quickest driver. Now, at a track where Thurston might be a little less confident, well, we'll see what happens. The interesting thing is, Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsport has a great record. That's Thurston's team. They have a great record at this circuit, and that, of course, is with River Page. Page has made it in 2024 anyway. He got multiple wins at this track, kicked off the SNT year with a win at this venue. Maybe some of those notes from a teammate can help out for Thurston. He started well, of course, starting in second, but he always finds a way to get that pace when it begins. 88 of Matthew White. The 96 of James Thurston there, your front row when they're lined up as is. Front row, separate by only 11 thousandths of a second. Hunsicker and Cameron Chandler run that second row, and they're pretty close. Top 4 within a tenth of a second. But then from there, top 10 is separated by about 3/10 overall. $150 laps on the table. Just under 130 miles of racing coming your way. This is the second race of our 3-race round, the round of 10, and after this one, 5 drivers will be eliminated from championship racing, and then we'll have 5 move on. As it stands, James Thurston and Matthew White have both made their way up to the top 2 in points and in this starting grid. Aiden Donahue is 3rd in points. 4th is Matthew Weeks, and 5th runs Braden Hunsicker, with Vinny Tigner, Tyler Sevier, John Meeks, Cameron Chandler, and Ashton Miller in the top 10, all further back. They are the ones who are on the cut line or below, 5th on down. Engines revving, drivers ready, and good to see again, rookies. This time around, one of our rookie guys is rather familiar. It's the number 56 of Jack Drucker. Drucker in a blue Chevrolet Camaro for the very first time in his career here. Well, he's making it back after a full season as a rookie in the Integrity Racing League, winning a race at Daytona and winning a race later in the season during the playoffs. The 2-time winner finished top 5 in the championship after 30 weeks of competition in only his first season in the Ignite Series. He did a great job, and now we're looking to see whether or not he can translate that success. It's Jack Drucker, lined up 6th in his very first start in that number 56. One to go this time by. Ambient temperature coming in at 74 degrees Fahrenheit, track temp at 110, and it's partly cloudy skies, and to this point, it's rather sunny. Cloud cover hasn't been horrible. Humidity is a little bit milder than what we say usually when we say humidity troubles, but it is a slick track, and not only that, it is a loose track. So with new tire, humidity above 30% is a danger. Watch out for guys in the back of the field coming out of 2 and 4. The exit to the corners with this type of weather will be deadly. Double file all the way down, beginning with the number 88 of Matthew White. He's looking to set the score and even things up after James Thurston got the ball rolling better last week to kick off the playoffs. 10 drivers still in this round, all of which are with us tonight. One looking to break away is White, but on the outside, James Thurston takes an early lead. We're green for the cornfields in Iowa and back in business for the playoffs. Across the line for these opening 2 laps, it's Matthew White leading the single file train. Top 4 drivers are all with each other. Bryce Benton just behind. How about Bryce Benton? Again, pole sitter last week. He started, and not only that, started last week's race on the top of the board, and in doing so, he set an example very quickly. He's going to be one to watch from this point. 4 laps in out of 150. Jordan Kuntz watching with Jack Drucker way back. The number 63 of Henry Kaloff also there too. 2x2, not quite, but you're looking already at inside and outside racing. that might carry on for the rest of the night here. Now, Iowa Speedway has historically been very, very good at bringing out multi-groove racing, no matter where it is, on the top side of the racing circuit, the bottom side of the racing circuit, and all of the things that we've seen at Iowa have been consistent with that fact. Jordan Kuntz would know that for certain. And this track is most similar to Richmond. Kuntz has wanted that track beforehand. He's gotten the experience here in Iowa as well. Drivers at Richmond, and as a result, Iowa, they can be very, very flexible. And with this being said, you don't know what's going to happen with this new pavement and the Xfinity car model switching up from the last time we was here. What's going to happen for these drivers in the long term? Matthew White looking strong to this point, but as they run, the number 88 of White, he's getting away. He's got a half second, but we don't know what's going to happen for that long run. Drivers were given 45 minutes of practice, a lot of them using it on short runs and qualifying simulations, but as we see in SNT action all the time, 25% of a race could be covered in the green flag run, sometimes 50%, sometimes 75%, if not more. And at a fast and small circuit, it could play out that way, and it could be a race done in a flash, just like that. Thurston has halved the gap over the last 5 laps. Across the line here, Matthew White and James Thurston have broken out 9/10 of a second. There's Cameron Chandler, 7/10 of a second behind on Thurston. And Cameron coming back strong. He's got a lot of points to make up. This dividend is not easy to cut through. So keep in mind, as it stands, Cameron Chandler in the number 8, he is 9th in points with 3,000. He is 38 points under the cut line. Now, there are more than 38 points up on display, and for availability's sake for a driver, James Thurston earned 77 points last week with a fantastic performance, which means that 40 points could be attainable if Cameron Chandler has a good night. He could even go up for 50 and 60 if he really cuts things nicely. Thurston that time by, cutting around White for the race lead. New man on top of the board. It is Thurston. And he digs down low as he takes the race lead again. That's Matthew White. 11 laps in out of 150. Double file down the back straight. 2x2 for the lead. Further back, the battles are not nearly as tight, but the best drivers all season long are proving again why exactly they're in this position. First and second in points, looking to get to a second round playoff berth. Why not get the work done now and lock yourself in? Thurston has. I know Matthew White wants to do so desperately. Matthew White again behind Thurston. Take a look off the deck lid of the 96. "13 laps in out of 150. The opening Baker's dozen has been clear. 25 drivers starting. Aaron Kovnat and Connor Asbell, the 65 and 72, 2 drivers who registered but did not begin racing. Everyone else is on the track right now. Aiden Donahue sitting with a nice bundle of extra points. After a great start to his playoffs, he is 3rd in the regular season championship, now finding himself 3rd once again, and he's in a comfortable position to make his way through, of course, to the round of 5. As long as he starts and finishes the next 2 races, he should be able to get there. Matthew Weeks getting to his inside, though. Weeks looking to make up some deficit of his own. The number 11 team, Matthew Weeks, coming fresh off a championship, now sits 4th in points. Wasn't able to best Donahue last week, but he is above the cut. Weeks is a late goer, a late bloomer, shall we say. He might not have the best regular season, but when it comes to the playoffs, he always knows when to turn it up. Weeks now finding himself in 11th, following Rick Spencer-Walt. Playoff drivers as they roll. Top 4 are all playoff guys. Henry Kaloff is in 5th. He's not a playoff guy, and the rest of the top 10 are not championship eligible. Rick Spencer Walt, Jordan Kuntz, another rookie, and Christian Herklot just keeping Bryce Benton honest. 17 laps out of 150, and these two made their debut last week. They're together again. Position 6 and 7 held by rookies because also there's Jack Drucker. Drucker now trying to make his way inside on Henry Kaloff, and Jack fitting in really well in a lineup that we have seen beforehand. Jack Drucker to Henry Kaloff. Now, Drucker and Vinny Tigner have raced against one another, and with that being the case, perhaps that's where it all began. For Drucker and Tigner, they started off in the Integrity Ignite Series. Tigner running a part-time campaign, Drucker a full-timer, and now looking for some more racing action. Good to have Jack here. He's going to be a good addition if we see him for the next few races. As it stands, he's here in 5th, his first time running in the top 5. Drucker behind on the 00, Braden Hunsicker. Third place is still the number 8 of Cameron Chandler. Yellow flags out, first time tonight, and it looks like the back of the field involving, among others, Trey Holmes. Cautions out, take a look. Holmes contact with Andres Varas out of 4, and Andres goes sliding for a really long period. And he ends up in turn 1. Minimal damage, and luckily he'll get away from it. One more time, and we'll take it 2 laps back to show you a little more of what just happened. Andres Varas making contact with Trey Holmes, and it looks like Trey was looking for a position at the time of this incident. They were battling for about 17th place when this happened. Holmes goes to the inside of 3 and 4. Andres was on the outside. He tried to get the run off the corner, and it looks like they just met each other in the middle. Varas drops down. Luckily, it was just a quarter panel tap, and neither of them have bodywork damage. They should be able to continue on as everyone heads down to pit road. The leading man in Thurston brings the field with him. Welcome to pit road, except for Joseph Miller, who will stay out. Miller, the lone exception. Here we go. Getting back to the beginning of it all. Everyone down to pit road again. 4 tires and fuel, the recipe for most. Kuntz with the 2-tire call, as does Rick Spencer Walt. That gets him up there, top 2 drivers. Thurston, Matthew White, Braden Hunsicker, Cameron Chandler, Jack Drucker, Bryce Benton. That's how they roll to end the top 10 with Henry Kaloff in the 10th position. 22 laps in out of 150. Top 10 is shuffled. We got a new man at the front. He's taking a big risk. Enter Joseph Miller. Miller leads the way, and he will get us going at lap number 24. One to green next time by. Caution slightly extended, as Joseph Miller is the only driver who has decided not to go down to pit road. And with that being the case, he's a big risk. Rick Spencer Walt, he's going to stay out in this 2-tire call. And it looks like Jordan Kuntz decides to go in again, so he's not happy with that pit road call he made. He'll come through for the second time to get himself readied up for a long run on 4 tires. Coming to 1 to green now, Kuntz will join the field as one of our last green flag lead lap drivers. Looks like all 25 are on the lead lap right now. Kuntz gets up to the field. Trent Jones and Asher Bunkley there as well. Trey Holmes is back on the track, running in 18th place at the line. And the 84 of Andres Varas finding himself in 20th. right alongside Jordan Owens. It'll be Miller, Joseph Miller, starting up at the front of the field for the very first time tonight. Well, let's see what he can do on old rubber. He's going to be the first of firsts, as we'll see whether or not old tire is a big disadvantage. After a 20-some lap run, definitely going to be some wear. Now what's going to happen? Coming to the line for lap number 25. It's the first restart of the day. Miller, Spencer Wall, Thurston, White. The front row has been relegated to row 2. You've got 2 holdouts. Let's get down to business. The green flag's out. Miller gets the ball rolling. Oh, he's slow. Oh, he's up the track. And both of your front row drivers wreck. Oh, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, the verdict is in. Don't stay with those old tires because they will get you fast. Miller blows a motor, and White and Thurston both get wrecked. Let's take a look at this one in slow motion. It's your second caution of the day. Thurston was all over Miller. That's where it starts. Slides up. Miller not able to handle it. He'll take Spencer Wall. He'll take Thurston. He'll take White. That's contact from Cameron Chandler. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the wall. Miller spins back and forth. He's up on James Thurston. And then Kenneth Garrell gets tagged twice and gets shot up the wall as well. There goes the number 20. That's Trent Jones. And another hit up high. But horrible hits in particular for White and Thurston, who are perhaps your favorites to win. Yellow flag's out. 27 laps in out of 150. One fast repair available for these guys. And I'm thinking they're going to take it. As Braden Hunsicker watches the top 4 drivers, all top 4 drivers, crash. And he's now going to have the race lead. $27 out of 150. Coming to lap number 28 as we get ourselves set up with another set of new leaders. This time they took their tires. Braden Hunsicker. And on the outside, Jack Drucker, your top 2. Double file with 2 laps remaining in this caution period. Bryce Benton gets up to the top 3. Looks like James Thurston right now coming to pit road, trying to get himself a little bit more in terms of damage repair. Matthew White was not hesitant to take that fast repair, and so immediately he'll go for it. I think Thurston's going to try to run the long game out and hope for some cautions to pull himself back in before going with that approach. Double file. Next time around, the 00 of Hunsicker will have the entire field at his disposal. Hopefully this time by, though, he'll get a good jump. He's on the same level of tire as everyone else around him, so there shouldn't be a big issue in him getting the ball rolling. Let's head to green, led by Braden Hunsicker. To his inside, Bryce Benton and Christian Herklotz. So rookies on the inside together again. And on the outside, you'll have Jack Drucker, Henry Kaloff, and Ethan Burrell. Burrell in that number 37. Third man on the outside row. Seeing what happens now. Well, we'll all go down to lap 30 of 150. That gives us about 120 laps to go at. And it all begins with this opening run for the 00 of Hunsicker. Our last leader wasn't quite able to cut it. We'll see what happens now. Everyone's on the same level of rubber. And we'll get back to business. Green flag will fly. Double file and grabbing a gear. It's now going to be Braden Hunsicker leading the way with Jack Drucker on the outside. Bryce Benton right down and in. That's the number 9. And he's going for P2, looking to take the lead for the second time in his career. Had the lead to begin things last week. Now he's looking to do it all over again. Caution's out, though. Oh, yellow flag. It's Matthew White again after he takes his fast repair. Bad news for the 88, and so quickly he finds himself in another troubling situation. Oh, it's Thurston too. Wow. It's Thurston and Spencer Wall and Kenneth Gurrell all again in a wreck. From the front of the field all the way to the back. Thurston was on the high side. Spencer Wall was there in the middle. And everyone meets. Contact 1, 2, 3, and the last man tagged is Gurrell again. Yellow flag for the third time today, and Thurston and White have now been involved in 2 of your 3 cautions. Not what we would have been expecting to say as they head to pit road again. Two by two. Hunsicker, and now Bryce Benton, your top drivers. Jack Drucker in third, Henry Kaloff in fourth. Top 5 going to be rounded out now by Christian Herklotz. And of your top 5, he's made the most spots up, gaining 8 on the day, while Ashton Miller goes up 11. Ashton having the most spots gained of any of your top 10 drivers, as he's the only one of them who has made up now more than 10 positions. A great start for the Miller crew and the High Rock Vodka Camaro, which is in the championship race. Ashton's end goal of making that next round, it all comes down to a good night today, so starting off like that is the perfect way to get the ball rolling. Ashton, coming into the day, is 10th and last in our championship running, so he's going to need a lot of success in this race and the next to get there. One agree next time by, and we will head back to work at lap number 35. Double file next time through. Vinny Tigner entering the top 10. Aiden Donahue and Matthew Weeks and Ashton Miller. All these guys together. Championship eligible. 5 championship eligible drivers in the top 10. Led by Braden Hunsicker. Across the line and ready to go. Braden Hunsicker, the control car, opts to go up to the outside. And the inner group is taken by the rookie in Benton. The field now sees 24 on the lead lap. And Kenneth Gurrell is the first driver to go multiple laps down. Kenneth getting back in the field. Matthew White still on the lead lap here. And it looks like James Thurston is as well in 19th. 2 by 2. Braden Hunsicker now getting it on the outside, and he will go green again as your leader. Second restart of the day, lap number 35. It is Hunsicker to the points. Bryce Benton tucks down to the inside. Henry Kaloff in the number 63. Rolling right up. He's going to be cleared there. And Benton will make the pass, and a nice one at that. So quickly does the 93 machine watch and wait as the number 9 takes second place and looks to hold it. Christian Herglot's also in the top 5, and with White and Thurston struggling heavily to kick off the day, we're looking at a very, very different top 2 and a very different top 10. Now, across the line, it's going to be Benton looking to take it from Braden Hunsicker. Across the stripe by only 30 thousandths of a second, it was Braden Hunsicker, your leader. Oh, a little bit of contact once again. Side by side. And into 3 and 4. That's going to be Hunsicker loose, giving an opportunity now to Henry Kaloff. And Henry going to make the most of it and duck to the inside and take second place. Ashton Miller, the number 79, up 12 places. And now Christian Herglot's the only man that stands in his way when it comes to getting inside the top 5. Miller having a great race, knowing he has no choice but to do so. With absolutely nothing in the bank when it comes to bonus points, success is his only option because everything else will lead him to failure. Looking to make up tonight, 38 points. Cut that deficit down. He's running ahead of all now, but one driver in the playoff picture. And if that's the way things end, that's about the perfect way he could do it. 40 laps in out of 150. Getting by Christian Herglot puts Miller up to 5th, and he's now looking at Hunsicker for 4th. Coming through for lap number 41, Henry Kaloff being challenged as Benton again gets to the inside. The 9 now, Bryce Benton looking at it, trying once more. Can't quite get himself where he needs to be, and that's going to give Kaloff the lead again out of the corner again. It looks like the 63 has the edge. Perhaps the best opportunity that Henry Kaloff has ever had to win in the IORA Cup Series. It came in his 63rd start and a second to last in league history. With 2 laps to go, Kaloff was in the top 5 here at this track during a playoff race. And unfortunately, what happened to him was he ended up being wrecked in the big wreck to end the race, coming toward the white flag. And he wasn't able to get the job done. Kaloff winless in the Iowa Cup Series, and he has not been able to win since 2023 here in SNT, trying to find something, some opportunity to finally get the job done and take the checkered flag. Bryce Benton and Jack Drucker both watching. Side by side for second. Drucker, how about this man on number 56? We knew he had the talent. We knew he had the stuff. And look at him roll. It's pretty obvious that those Integrity Racing League skills have carried over naturally. And I don't think you would have needed me to explain that. I don't think any of these drivers would have needed anyone else but Jack to explain it themselves. The 56 of Drucker is on the move, and now he's chasing after the lead in only his first career start. Why not get the ball rolling with success? That's the mindset now for Drucker, as Ashton Miller and Braden Hunsicker alike are going at each other. Miller has not yet been able to get an open line and make it through on Hunsicker. It looks like Braden has been able to keep himself through, maintain that 4th spot. Side by side again. Low is Drucker, high is Kaloff. And it looks like out of 4, clear. Jack Drucker gets the job done for the first time in his SNT career. He's a race leader, leading his first lap, and now Drucker is on top. Jack's got the advantage over Henry Kaloff now. It's about a 10th and a half, and the entire top 10 has really settled in well. Halfway point coming to lap number 75 here. 47 laps in, James Thurston back in 13th. Matthew White with further struggles running in 23rd. Luckily for Matthew, he's accumulated some bonus points, which means that he doesn't have to do the best tonight if he wants to get through the next round. Tomorrow, of course, and for the next few days, I'm sure he'll begin preparing for our final race in the round of 10. But given the points advantage he has right now on the cut line, which is 62 points, he doesn't have to worry all too much about tonight being bad, as long as he finishes tonight, then goes on to the next race and turns it around for at least a top 10 effort. Rucker looking strong and now beginning to extend that gap in a very, very different looking field. With Thurston and White, these two guys now out of the picture effectively for the win. Not to say they'll be out for a long time. You know them, they're the best drivers in this field by a long shot. This season they have been for a fact. If they come back, I wouldn't be too surprised. But right now, Jack Drucker and the rookies are really putting in a great run. You got Drucker leading, Bryce Benton in third, Christian Herklotz is in sixth. These are all drivers who have either made their debut last week or never raced here at all. And now, they're all together, and they're in a fantastic position. Leaders for the very first time. Henry Kaloff P2, Bryce Benton third, Braden Hunziker fourth, separate by just about a second. Let's see if there's any closer battles here to watch. Looks like there might be one here, Asher Bunkley and James Thurston. Thurston chasing after the 92. And this pass would be for the 10th position if Thurston can take it. James ducking down low, has got the power through the corner, got some contact, he'll slide. Oh, that's not going to end the fight. In fact, I think it's only going to just begin it. Nice lunge into three. Thurston with the pass. And he's now up into P10. James Thurston inside the top 10 for the first time since his two back-to-back incidents at around lap 30. And looks like he's been able to recover significantly better than White. Mainly because Matthew White, he's gotten the harder hits. In both instances of contact, he really got banged up in the wall. Thurston, the second time around, was lucky that he was just able to spin out and get out of the way. Matthew White, not so much. He got some really serious contact from another driver, and when it's car to car, you don't really get out of it alive, or, you don't get out of it well. You can sometimes scrape the wall, get a quarter panel tag, even bang up against the wall and get away with it. But when it's another car and it's another object moving at you at speed, the impact is way, way more. The momentum of that car goes right into you and you feel it. The car feels it. And it's not like the wall, the safer barrier wall, designed for you to bang off of it. These cars absorb their energy and they take that damage, and it's very challenging to repair it. So unless you take that fast repair as your one and only second chance, you're going to be limping around for the rest of the night. 56 laps in, out of 150. Less than 100 laps to remain, and we are rapidly approaching what is next to come, the halfway point. Looking at our tire data, I don't think right now we are looking at any signs of drivers going down to pit road anytime soon. Most drivers have gone down once. James Thurston, on account of his multiple incidents, gone down pit road multiple times, of course. He's gone down 3. But you see right now these drivers are on 35 lap stints, and what they have available to them, it's about 90 miles of range. So this track being less than a mile long, it does mean that they could go up to about 100 laps until having to go down a pit road. What I think is going to happen is they'll run until about 75 laps on this stint at most, then go down to pit road. So pit road window may open early in the 80s and end by lap 100, and if we stay under green, that would be your final cycle of the night. Drucker across the line again, leading by an ever-extending gap, now 0.6 of a second. The biggest gap he's had all night long, and he's still a few hundredths of a second quicker each time by. Green flag no longer, however. For the 4th time today, the yellow flag is out. Trent Jones involved in a multi-car incident. Watch this. In a battle involving Rick Spencer, Walt, Trent Jones, Jordan Owens, Joseph Miller, and Kenneth Gurrell. Yellow flag flies again. Side-by-side door banging. Yeah, Jones just gets loose. Hits the number 31 of Rick Spencer Walt. Gurrell gets shot up the track as a result. And it's back and forth. 60 laps in out of 150. Fourth caution of the day. Pit road busy again. Four tires and fuel is the recipe. And as they run, well, it looks like a majority of these guys are coming to need it quick. The front of the field has been in good shape. We haven't seen a lot of big incidents or any problematic circumstances up there. But the back of the field, from outside of 15th and then on down, that's where a majority of our troubles have been. Of course, except when the leaders in Thurston and White got hit alongside one another. That was the top four, all broken up in one foul swoop. Pit stops again just before our halfway point. It will be the winner off pit road, Jack Drucker, then Henry Caloff, Braden Hunsicker, Bryce Benton, Ashton Miller. Matthew Weeks just barely beat Ethan Burrell, and then you got Christian Herklots, Aiden Donahue. And your top 10 wraps up with James Thurston in the 96. Drucker, 6th to 1st. Gonna lead again as we get set to go green real soon. Jack Drucker and Henry Caloff remain your top two. Biggest mover up 13 is Ashton Miller. He's going to keep that crown. Asher Bunkley with the potential, though, to really go after that crown in his own right. Asher up from 21st up to 12. That's a 9-place gain for the driver of the 92. And by all means, that is a very, very impressive thing going for the 92 team. That black Chevrolet Camaro getting better and better on each run and getting slower. Of course, a lot of other drivers have experienced that with tire wear. So far, it looks like Bunkley's only gotten better as the race has progressed. Double foul with the 56 of Drucker taking control. For the first time in his career now, he will be a leader on a restart. And unlike what we saw beforehand where Matthew White was taking the outside, it looks like Drucker and Braden Hunsicker also did it, but Drucker will take it down low. Hunsicker and Benton, 3rd and 4th now. After previously battling each other for the lead, they'll take a back seat, at least for the time being, as you got new guys up in front looking to show their stuff. Jack Drucker, of course, with his perfect opportunity, leading in his first career race. And 63 laps in, he'll restart alongside the number 63. Let's see if he can beat Henry Caloff to the line, and that he does. Green flags out. Restart number 4. Drucker nicely off the line. He'll be followed quickly by the number 63 00. Bryce Benton watching there as Henry Caloff gets slightly loose. That's the outside line, a little bit of jeopardy. But Caloff is able to hang on. Drucker able to get that lead, and he will stick with it. Braden Hunsicker now having to defend upon Ashton Miller. Miller in that number 79, the closest he's been to the race lead. The distance is cut down. He's still in the top 5. What's going to happen here? Oh, Ashton Miller loose. He gets lucky. The caution came out right at that time. Wow. What happened there? Here's a look back at the mid-pack. As while Miller got loose, there was trouble brewing right out of the frame. check this out. 3 wide, John Meeks, and contact. Jamie Lockwood saved, but the yellow flag flies. At the same time, Miller had the same problem. 66 laps in out of 150. Yellow flag number 5 as a result, just after going down to pit road. Loose out of the corner and a safety caution, but luckily it was a quick save there. And a great job from Jamie Lockwood and Ashton Miller. Both of them able to get away from it and do so quickly and not get any other drivers involved. So a safety yellow flag, everyone is good to go. And we should quickly be able to restart here as just about nobody goes down to pit road. .67 laps in out of 150. We are now less than 10 laps away from halfway, which is 75. Watch further back. 2nd to 10th. Getting closer is James Thurston. Thurston has gotten himself up into the top 10, and while not comfortably yet in the single digits, these restarts are helping him stay close. Matthew White is in 20th from 23rd, his all-time lowest. And so now, with a few more spots recovered, maybe White can get himself back up into the teens. Jack Drucker's had a quiet night ever since he's gotten up to the race lead, and while he was right in the thick of it when he was fighting to get up there, it looks like it has been smooth sailing ever since. What's happened for him so far, of course, Drucker, 22 laps led on the day. Well, by all means, he's done a great job in keeping it up there, but now what? He's got the lead. Will he be able to withstand what happens next? Will he be able to defend well? Will he be able to get the ball rolling on restart after restart? Of course, he got it nicely on that first one, but new challengers are approaching. Hunsicker is now to his outside, and I'll tell you this much, Braden has been tricky to deal with on these launches and early quick runs. He's one of the best in the short runs overall in this league, and in a moment like this, when cautions are frequent, he might just be able to shine. Double file as lap number 70 approaches. The iRacing official pace car is set to let him run, with Drucker and Braden Hunsicker as your leaders. Two by two all the way down the line. We got 23 on the lead lap, the last of which is Matthew White. And White is now looking to pick himself up and get back to work. iRacing official pace car will leave him be before White gets to the line. He'll be lucky to get there in time, and we are ready to go again. Green flags out at lap 70. Drucker leading into 1 and 2. He gets it started. Donahue in a 3-wide pinch briefly. Watch alongside. Jordan Kuntz coming as well. There's John Meeks, Cameron Chandler, the number 8. Cameron just ahead of Tyler Sevier, your Daytona winner, 17th here. Matthew White back to 23rd. After quickly going down to pit road. And you can see a little bit of that back end damage is still present on White, while James Thurston, by all accounts, has gotten away from most of his damage. We'll see what happens here as he tries to get up in the mix. Watching from just behind is the rookie Christian Herklots. Let's take a ride on board with Christian as we take his perspective. Right now, getting just around Ashton Miller. You saw there, sweeping up to the high side. Christian Herklotz looking comfortable. Miller, not so much, as he's going to drop way back and now find himself outside of the top 10 conversation from 6th that time by. Loose out of turn 2, and that's the cost. Quickly, it's going to bring Herklotz up into the single digits. Aiden Donahue in the number 82, watching and trying to get it on Matthew Weeks. Championship contenders are more present at the back half of the top 10 than what we've seen in the front half, which is interesting and not generally what we see. But for the time being, things switched around. Your title guys have had a lot of trouble going at each other so far tonight. Matthew White, James Thurston, of course, those two drivers in particular are having the big issues, but we haven't seen a lot of guys like Cameron Chandler. Chandler started up front, but has been quiet in the back ever since. Or to Vinny Tigner. Vinny back around where he qualified in 13th. And as the halfway mark has come to pass, majority of this race has already been completed. You got to wonder now, what's going to happen in this second half? As he tries to get by Drucker and go for his first career win, can anyone stop him from here? Four-tenths of a second. The gap now to Braden Hunsicker. And currently, anyway, it's ever expanding. There has been no stopping so far the Drucker machine since he's taken that lead, and that has been the one big consistent thing. It looks like he is one of the most comfortable. And unfortunately, I think by all means, you got to consider this if you're Hunsicker and Benton. If he is the fastest, the quickest of all drivers here in these clean air scenarios, if he has that track position and he keeps that, well, what's going to happen now if we just keep getting restarts back and forth where Drucker is able to maintain and keep the lead? It means that nobody else is going to be able to get up there, and that for Drucker could mean a definite victory. Of course, nothing is definite until the checkered flag falls, but right now things are looking very good for that rookie. Here's Jordan Cooch trying to get in the top 10. Ashton Miller trying to duck down low. Miller couldn't get there that time by, and it looks like that gives room for Kuntz to go after Asher Bunkley in the 92. Bunkley shuts the door. A nice run out of the front straightaway, and using that banked front straightaway well. Coming out of turn 4 and getting a drive off is critical if any driver wants to get away and keep things moving. I think Bunkley's doing a nice job of that there. You can see he might have rattled the corner, but he's going to pick up about a car length and a half as he gets further ahead on Jordan Kuntz. Kuntz goes side by side quickly with Ashton Miller, but Jordan was not past there, and he will keep his position. James Thurston up to a post-incident high of 6th place, almost inside the top 5, and despite all the damage that he's accumulated and all the troubles that he's been in, well, it looks like now Ethan Burrell is the only driver holding the door shut against him to re-enter the top 5. And by the rate that we've seen Thurston go at over the last few laps, he's a little bit quicker than Ethan Burrell, which means that maybe, just maybe, the 96 is going to have a chance to enter the top 5. Thurston continues to watch. Drucker's lead continues to expand. Cameron Chandler right now stuck in 14th, 10 spots below where he qualified. I don't think this at all is where he would have expected to be. Cameron Chandler was hoping to run, I'm sure, in the top 5. Whatever's happening right now, it just looks like strategy for a lot of these championship guys has been poor. Only got 3 of them inside the top 10. Further back is Ashton Miller. And then from there, we have Vinny Tigner, 12th and 13th, with Cameron Chandler, P14. 66 laps to go. Take a brief ride on board inside the cockpit for Tigner. Coming down to the inside groove, and you could see there just getting a nice drive off. It's been simple all throughout the running for Vinny Tigner. Not a lot of aggressive handwork. And coming with the drive off corner again, Vinny Tigner is still chasing after Ashton Miller. Still hasn't quite made the move and stuck it in just yet. We'll see what happens next. 64 laps to go this time by. Leader is Drucker, now by a second. .63 to go. No trouble now for Drucker. The closest battle is now behind. Thurston coming up and Ethan Brown. I think this back-end perspective shows it perfect. James Thurston coming through the front straight, getting closer and closer to that front bumper. That time by, no dice for James Thurston. He's gotten close, has tried to get to the inside. Matthew Weeks, the number 11, cuts low. It still hasn't been able to get it around there. Well, these drivers a little bit more stalled out. The mid-teens are still a hard battle. Here comes Christian Herklotz further up in the front of the field. We'll watch that battle momentarily as Trey Holmes goes under the 27 of Jamie Lockwood. .60 laps remaining. And it looks like here, nothing has happened yet for Trey Holmes. Lockwood getting it around. 15th is where Lockwood stands. Trey Holmes is going to be 16th place. .59 laps to go. Time running out. Asher Bunkley now dropping down to 18th. And it looks like these last few laps, strategy-wise, have not played out well. 77 to Tyler Sevier. The 16 of Joseph Miller. Right at each other once more. Tyler going to go up to that third groove, trying to find something up high. And again, we've said it time and time again. This track, multi-groove, but with the repave, it hasn't been nearly as easy to get there. 58 laps to go. Here comes Bunkley to the inside. Asher committing to pit road. And it looks like this is going to be a necessary call for the 92 team, as Asher Bunkley significantly slower than all other drivers around. And while most drivers are on 30-some laps in, it looks like for Bunkley, 33 laps is just enough for still some big troubles. Caution's out. Perfect time for Bunkley. Not so much for others. It's going to be Tyler Sevier who goes around spinning. Here's a look at the caution as the yellow flag's out for the 6th time today. Coming out the corner. Oh, just a quarter panel tap. And that sends Tyler to the inside. Tyler Sevier sees the yellow flag fly after brief contact with Joseph Miller. And so we are at a standstill again. .55 laps remaining. Got a little bit of time before we head green. So until that point, we'll send you some messages from our partners and associates live on FTN. Thank you for watching tonight's coverage, and we'll be back with the rest of this race from here on out. Under 55 laps to go. When we go green, field is heading down to pit road, and we'll keep you updated right after this. You're watching an FTN, and you won't miss a thing as we go non-stop under caution.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Boundless makes its presence felt. It will not be ignored. We're helping turn ideas into reality with a wealth of building products that take every architectural style to the next level. This is what it's like to imagine, build, and transform anything we want into exactly what we seek. This is what it means to be boundless.
Heading back to green with 51 laps remaining, Jamie Lockwood opts to stay out, as does Braden Hunsicker here. So let's see what happens as the Lockwood crew decides to go for an alternate strategy. Will this be the right call? Last time we saw it play out, admittedly it didn't go well. Hopefully this time by, Lockwood gets the ball rolling better. Well, clearly it's better than a wreck. Yellow flag does not fly. We're back in the air for your sixth restart of the day. But Hunsicker on the outside pulls through, takes a dominant opening, and he will lead again as they're 3 wide behind. Coming out of turn 4, Lockwood from the lead has dropped now down to 7th place. And a massive fallback in just these opening few laps. And it is clear here, coming out of turns number 1 and 2, that he's just going to have to ride up on the high side and get out of everyone's way, because there's no way he's going to be nearly quick enough. And with slightly older rubber, problems already. Oh, Tyler Seaver. Tyler down to the inside, cautions out. It's your 7th of the day. Let's see what happens as the 77 is involved in his 2nd caution of the night. Tyler was right there at a 4. No contact from anyone, it appears. Just got loose and went down and in. 48 laps to go. And it's your 7th yellow of the night. Tyler, unfortunately, involved as he will lose the lead. Jack Drucker losing it to Braden Hunsicker. So it'll be Braden versus Jack as we get going again. .48 laps remaining. We will have at most 45 when we return to green. With Braden once again as the control car, and Jack again on the outside. Going to be a much more similar battle to how it all began for these two drivers. Hunsicker had the advantage to start, but of course, at the tail end of it, it ended up being Jack Drucker getting that long run, and when he got the lead, he did keep it. So I don't think it's of any concern for Drucker, at least right now. The time he has remaining, some 45 laps that he won't get the lead let back. I think he's going to have another shot to do so. But of course, it's the first half of this run that makes all the difference. At this point, nobody has to go down a pit road. Everyone's got sufficient equipment, tires, and fuel to get all the way to the end. Unless we have ourselves a very short run to finish off this run in this race, I don't think you're going to see anyone deciding to go at it and finish the job off with one more set of extra rubber used. A limit of 3 extra sets is our typical that's available. And tonight, when it came down to tires, well, by all means, these drivers having to deal with them, and it's scarce. Oftentimes, when you're working with short tracks, even if you're given an extra set, which these drivers typically are, giving 4 sets overall, when you have 150 laps, you do have a lot of opportunities to go down and take those pit stops. Some drivers might already be out of extra rubber. Others who have been able to save it a little bit more. I think James Thurston being one of which who's gone down the pit road a lot more than most, and yet has saved his stuff, is a better position because of it. Running in 5th after spending a majority this night outside of the top 10. We'll head to green at 44 laps to go. Past the lap 100 marker, and more than 2/3 in, the checkered flag is increasingly nearer. James Thurston, Bryce Benton, Jack Drucker, the inside. Your outer groove includes Hunsicker, Ethan Burrell, and last of those guys who are right up in front is Matthew Weeks. Jordan Kuhn's not too far behind, and now he's trying to avoid a winless season, of course. Luckily, he's got a win, actually, the season opener, but the playoffs being winless for him, a rare sight. We'll come to green again for your 7th time tonight. 44 laps remaining. That's Braden Hunsicker, and he's got the gear, and he will take it back up to speed. James Thurston going to be 3 wide middle. Jordan Kuntz right down low. Matthew Weeks not able to get with him, and there, just like that, Thurston maintains 5th. A little bit of contact between Thurston and the rookie. Oh, contact up high, Cameron Chandler. Big wreck involving Matthew Weeks. What just happened to Weeks? It's now your 8th of the day, and the number 11 is not only involved, but he gets destroyed. See what happened. Loose through 4. Oh, and shot up the track there by Cameron Chandler. Chandler ends up spinning as well, and we'll catch a better look at Cameron right here. He's in the back of the pack. And watching as it all begins. And he just gets taken up. Got some back end damage and luckily avoids contact from Aiden Donahue. And he should be able to continue after getting some of that repaired on pit road. 42 laps to go. It will be significantly less than that after we go green. Ideally, for all parties involved, we can go green from this point. Still not a firm guarantee, as it remains very close. Game, of course, is all about points. Right now, every driver looking for the opportunities to lead laps, take those bonuses if they can. And if they're able to do so, of course, try to stretch out those positions. Each and every point counts more now as we approach these last races of the season, and especially if you're like an Ashton Miller who needs to make up 38 points to go from 18th to 7th in this race. He's done a great job, but he needs to make up 38 points in the standings to enter the top 5 in points, and then he needs to maintain it. Every point matters. That's the game now. Just try to keep it in that range where you can benefit over anyone else. Braden Hunsicker, if any night has been his this season, well, I think right now is the perfect shot to say this could be the one. No sight of Thurston for the majority of the day. Matthew White is basically out of it when it comes to the win. And now, what you got to see here is that it's Hunsicker against the rookie. Does Braden have enough to hang on against the all-new number 56 of Jack Drucker? I don't think I can say that with confidence yet. That just goes to show how good Drucker has been as a rookie pulling it together. We're going back at it again with 39 laps remaining. No settling in now. It's Hunsicker versus Drucker, the most common front row of the day. Both of these drivers have led each other and have been the leader under green and under yellow. We'll get back to business as Braden Hunsicker, wow, what a jump on the outside. The control car gets its way, and Drucker drops way back, giving a much better opportunity to Bryce Benton to take second. Now, something like that, not what you want to see if you're Drucker. 39 laps remaining. And the Hawkeye 150 comes down to this. Take a look behind on Braden Hunsicker. Yellow flag's out. 9th time today. And trouble brews again. Joseph Miller perhaps involved in it. Yeah, contact with Asher Bunkley. Bunkley gets loose. And so unfortunately, that's going to give way to the yellow flag again. Caution is out. And here we go. Settling it again after your 9th caution. 37 laps remaining. Hunsicker, Drucker, Benton, Kuntz, and James Thurston. That's your top 5. With Braden leading once more, and Jack again getting the outside, he'll get a clutch and critical second chance after very clearly not getting the nice jump that I'm sure he wanted, just wasn't able to get on that inside. Hunsicker timed that restart perfectly for his sake. 36 laps remaining. For Braden, time running out, and he's been in this position before, but he's still winless. He and Drucker, despite such a difference in how many starts they've made, same amount of wins. Benton in his second career race, also looking for a first career win. That's the commonality between these top three. Each of them wants it, and none of them have seen it until now. Coming to the green. Next time by, ideally, with 34 laps to go for our 9th restart of the night. Looks like 1 lap extension, which will bring us to 33 laps to go. 21 drivers on the lead lap, the last of which being Joseph Miller. Miller is up 3 places, 24th to 21st. And he is 12 seconds down on your leader right now. It's just because we're all pacing. And then Christian Herklotz is running in 22nd, 11 laps down. Looks like he's just about done for the night. So 21 are still on the racetrack after over 100 laps of racing. $35 to go. Coming to 34. Can Jack Drucker get the rebound? Or instead, is it going to be all about the 00 Braden Hunsicker from here? This front row has been the best duo of the entire night. And not only that, looks like they've just been the best drivers. James Thurston is back in the top 5. Last week he didn't feel he had the best car. This week, he certainly doesn't. Just comes down to all the damage he's accumulated. But what can he do now? 34 laps to go. Thurston's not too far from where he would like to be. But at the same time, I think the goal for him is just to put another statement race in and find a way to that second victory in the playoffs. Double foul with 33 laps remaining. It's on. Either our 10th caution or a run to the checkered flag as Braden Hunsicker, again, look at him go. The outside clearly better off that restart. That gives Jordan Kuntz the opportunity on second. Toe-to-toe, but Drucker is quicker to 3 and 4. And that will give him enough of an advantage to maintain second. Look behind Drucker. The pressure is very real, and you can see it. .32 remaining. Now going to be side by side for third. Watch it. Ethan Burrell, Bryce Benton going at each other. Jordan Kuntz not too far ahead. And it is tight. Razor thin margins overall in these front running places. All the while, Braden Hunsicker and Jack Drucker running away from everyone else. Side by side, Henry, Kaloff, and Miller. And as these two go toe to toe, Matthew White still the one to watch right there, following. Vinny Tigner, 14th up to 10th. He's gone up 4 places to this point. A very successful night. If he can finish it off like that, after a very calm night that he's had, of course, in the back half of the field, maybe now he can finally bring that fire in and take those successful last steps toward a much better finish. Jack Drucker is all over Braden Hunsicker. Side by side now for 4th. That is Thurston on Burrell. still has not yet been able to get around. Thurston goes up high, no dice. The 9 of Benton ducks to the inside again, and he will stay ahead on Ashton Miller. Miller tries to get that drive on the inside. It looks like he will. At a 4. Just barely ahead. It's going to be Ashton. So Miller now takes 6th. In the meanwhile, Jack Drucker looking for the lead. And he is increasingly closer. Look inside the cockpit. And on the left side of your screen, driver telemetry, you'll see exactly what he's doing when he's doing it this time by. Drive off the corner, all in 4th gear. No gear changing here for Drucker. Looks like he's very comfortable in 4th. And now's not about saving fuel. Not about saving tire either. It is all or nothing, and you can see it in how these guys are going. Now they're single file, running their best laps. And if you want to succeed, it really just comes down to whether or not you got the heater under you. Coming to the inside with 25 laps remaining. It is Drucker, now looking low on Hunsicker. Side by side, not yet there. Drucker got close, but it wasn't nearly enough. Seeing what happens next time by. Looks like the yellow flag, caution's out. 10th time today. And it's Bryce Benton, the rookie, finds trouble. Watch what happened. And it looks like he and Joseph Miller close to each other. And brief contact. Miller getting into Benton, sending him up. For the 10th time today, we are pacing. And Hunsicker gets himself a much needed break. Very close was Jack Drucker running up on him, and living on that prayer, he's going to have to head down a pit road and figure things out again. 4 tires and fuel. That's what it's all about. It looks like it's a short enough distance to justify one more pit stop. Drivers slide in. Will we see a 2-tire run? Or is it instead, yeah, look at that, James Thurston. Thurston clearly takes a 2-tire run. Then you got Hunsicker, Drucker, Donahue, Ethan Burrell, and after that, it's going to be a completely different lineup with Ashton Miller and Matthew White. Yes, Matthew White up in the mix. Taking him a long time, but he's got an almost completely cleaned up car. That is the beauty of having so many cautions. Mercifully, the field has basically given him a second chance. How many yellow flags they've had. We'll be ready to go green in 2 laps, as both White and Thurston are inside the top 5. 21st to 3rd now is Asher Bunkley. Bunkley's going to drop down to the inside here. Looks like on a little bit of a different strategy. Matthew Weeks, John Meeks, up and in front. These will be your leaders. And those top 3 holding out on a 19-lap run for Weeks, 20 for Meeks, and 33 for Asher Bunkley, respectively. We're going to go back at it again with 20 laps remaining. And when we do, we're going to crank it up here in Iowa. So hopefully you enjoy what's due to come. And it's going to be a thriller. Final laps of racing with the best cameras on the market. Whiplash sim cams. Not a lot else to say besides there is no competition now for Whiplash. iRacing's most realistic broadcast TV camera packs, and you can start with no cost. Check out their Discord server, and you can find an opportunity to get some of the most popular car and track packs for free, including Charlotte Motor Speedway. So check them out on their social media platforms, Whiplash Sim Cams. This time by, when we go green, we are going to crank it up. Double digits on restarts. We've hit them. Obviously, not easy to go racing at a track like Iowa, and this short track has tested the field from beginning to end. Now, here's to see if we can finish this one in one piece. Bring your flags out. 20 laps to go. Let's crank it up again with Whiplash Sim Cams and get live and loud from the cornfields. Down the back straightaway with 16 laps to go. New race leader. Oh my goodness, this is unbelievable. It's James Thurston. 15 remaining now. And mind you, Matthew White is in 5th. Those two drivers look to be done for 100 laps to go. It just doesn't look like there's anything that can really stop them. 15 to go for your 11th caution of the night. And now we're going to roll the dice with some 10 laps at most to finish this off. Take a look at this. Yellow flag will fly. Miller was already beat up at that point. He's trying to figure out what exactly caused it. Ashton Miller in the mix right there. Oh, sent up high to 79. Safety yellow. Nobody else involved, but he gets loose. So the caution's out. 14 laps to go. And it will be James Thurston leading at a critical point. When we go racing again, it's going to be do or die. Less than 10 miles remaining. And the laps continuing to tick down. Such a small amount of laps, just a handful of the 150 that remain ahead of us. But what is going to happen? We go at it once more. Will we see a little bit more aggression out of a guy like Hunsaker or Drucker, or seeing this chance to win? And maybe seeing it taken away by a complete surprise, the fact that Thurston has now pulled it back through and looks to be the favorite to win with just about a dozen to do it. this is a shocker, and perhaps it's more shocking, is Matthew White, who was in 20th for about 100 laps. Suddenly, he's about 5th quickest on the racetrack. And it might just be enough for him to get the job done and finish it. White's not all too far, as we will go green with 10 laps remaining. That's all we'll have left. And with that, we will have Asher Bunkley in the 92, the 20th, and final lead lap driver. Bunkley's getting a little bit closer now to that ultimatum point. John Meeks, 19th. He's 4 spots down where he qualified, but not too far from him, which means that with this mid-pack, you could also see a little bit more tension in the last moments. I think all the focus, of course, is going to be on these guys. The top 3. Drucker, the first-time driver, and a notable rookie, Braden Hunsicker, the sophomore, who's looking for that first win. And most of all, James Thurston, eyeing his 2nd consecutive win and 5th on the season, gets it done tonight. Coming to green for only 10 laps. Let's get ready again and fight for the checkered flag. It's going to be Thurston head-to-head with Braden Hunsicker as they grab a gear and go green. Coming out of turn 4, no stopping. The number 96 green flag is out, and he is underway. James Thurston leads into 1 and 2, and he's far out with 2/10. The gap between he and Hunsicker immediately. Watch behind, and it'll be double foul between Jack Drucker and right with him, Matthew White. 9 to go this time by. Bryce Benton, don't forget about the rookie in the number car, because it looks like he too is still in the mix. Got a little bit of smoke billowing, they'll get by it. And they'll stay green. Benton on the high side of Donahue. Braden Hunsicker, one too many times, has finished behind the man you're seeing right here, James Thurston. Now I'm sure with the night that Hunsicker's had, he will be fully unsatisfied not to go home as your winner. But it looks like Thurston cares very little about who else is satisfied. This is all or nothing for him. And I think it's going to be the statement of all statements to win 2 consecutive. 7 to go. Thurston goes up high. Hunsicker cuts a little bit lower. That's the first open gap that he's all throughout this run. Nothing there, couldn't quite get the pass, but it's the first sign of something. Oh, he's there. Thurston up the track. That's contact. That is a move. And Hunsicker at the line took that lap. Wow, 6 laps to go. And when the fight in him, Hunsicker will pass Thurston. Not afraid to nudge him up the track. Is James going to return the favor? Oh, yes, he is. But it won't work. That was a textbook up and run. Bump and run, rather. And it's perhaps the best one we've seen all year long. And for something like that to happen with 5 laps to go in a playoff race, well, Hunsicker has proven that for all the faults and all the races he's lost, in the worst of ways, oh, contact up the track, Matthew White. Matthew keeps it together. If he stays in the top 10, he's effectively a lock for the round of 5. 4 laps to go. Drucker takes second from Thurston. Mind you, Jack, this is his first ever race. Hunsicker has overcome the hurdle of hurts. He's passed Thurston, and he put him behind. But Drucker, the unknown factor, the driver who's got nothing to lose, and of course, everything to prove, has done tonight for himself. But with 2 laps to go, has he done enough? Jack now, he tried to apply that pressure. He knows that both Thurston and Hunsicker would do it. It's fair game to use the chrome horn a little bit, if he would like to. Drucker's nearly there. In a 1 and 2, can't quite get there. 3 and 4, he's a little lower. He's just about there on the quarter panel, but he doesn't go up, doesn't make contact. This is it. Flag, 1 lap to go, and the final opportunity for either of these drivers. Hunsicker into 1 and 2, leads through the middle groove, and Jack following him loses momentum. Oh, big loss out of there. Back straightaway, it'll be Thurston on Jack Drucker, and the rookies got pressure. But finally, after a year and 11 months of waiting, Braden Hunsicker is an SNT winner. He put the bumper to Thurston, and it pays off fully. Welcome to the round of 5. James Thurston doesn't win tonight, nor does Drucker. At long last, Braden Hunsicker wins from Iowa. With 48 led on the day, it was clear this was Braden's night, finally making that end run work. The long run goes his way, and he did something that we haven't seen done that well all season long. The perfect bump and run. Statement night for Braden Hunsicker. We'll come back with post-race coverage after this. Stay tuned for your top 3 interviews and your final results from the Iowa Speedway. From FTN Broadcasting and Saturday Night Thunder, we'll return right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The Hawkeye 150 ends with a first-time winner, and it's Braden Hunsicker. What a drive, holding off James Thurston and beating perhaps the favorite of the race, the favorite of the season, as an underdog with the checkered flag. Second, Jack Drucker Third is James Thurston. Fourth, Henry Kaloff. And running in the top 5 is the rookie, Bryce Benton. Another impressive run. 2 rookies in the top 5. Drucker second. Benton in 5th. Aiden Donahue finishes in 6th, and Jordan Coots goes 7th with Matthew White, Vinny Tigner, and John Meeks wrapping up the top 10. Then from there to finish off the lineup, you've got Asher Bunkley in 11th, Matthew Weeks 12th, Jordan Owens 13th, and Jamie Lockwood 14th. P15 goes Cameron Chandler with Tyler Sevier, Ashton Miller, Trey Holmes, Joseph Miller, and Andres Varas wrapping up the top 20. Then from there, 21st place, Ethan Burrell, 22nd. And just like that, Christian Herklots, Trent Jones, Rick Spencer Walt, Kenneth Garrell, Aaron Cobnott, and to end it all off, it's Connor Asbell, 27th and last of all those who registered tonight. And the statement of all statements is made by your winner. That's the guy we're going to be speaking to first. Braden Hunsinger coming up in your post-race interviews right now. Let's set it off with the 00, who finally finds a way to win. A driver we were looking at all of last season as someone who had the potential. And tonight, it all comes together. We'll get Braden in the broadcast momentarily. Braden Hunsinger coming our way. And the 00 head to the broadcast booth first. Now, when it comes to short track racing, we saw it all tonight. Of course, we had those cautions, had some green flag periods, a lot of tire strategy. But Braden, what you did to pass and win here tonight against James Thurston, the perfect bump and rub. And that was a textbook play. And it ends the winless streak. The drought is finally over, Braden. What a win for you here in Iowa.
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, I haven't won in this league before, and it's been a while. I've been in this league for a while. I've done a lot of races, but yeah, I mean, it was a great win. I mean, that battle with Thurston and Jack, that was fun. That was fun to do. I had to plan my move right on Thurston. There was a bit of net code there, but yeah, it definitely worked, and I was just able to hold off Jack. He was really fast. I mean, kudos to him. I mean, he was the best car this race, but we were just able to hold off, and I'm just so happy. Got to thank my teammates. And, you know, it's just a really fun race.
And, you know, you qualify well to begin with, starting in third tonight. The short tracks, of course, tricky for anyone to keep it up there. It looks like track position was a huge deal, though. How did you deal with maintaining it and holding on for so long?
The top lane was pretty dominant for defending. So you just had to keep it up there and just make sure you ran the line pretty well. But, yeah, it was a good race.
And that bump and run, we talked about it already, and we saw it there. How was it for you putting a little bit of contact, which I was a bit surprised that you started that, and then, of course, Thurston tried to return the favor. It looked like it was clean racing, but it got pretty close.
Yeah, I was a little heated for the contact he did before. He kind of shoved me off the track, but it's short track racing, so hopefully, I mean, it wasn't too bad, but yeah, I mean, great racing from him, and yeah, he's just a driver I respect. He's really good, and I'm looking forward to more battles with him.
And now with a win, finally, of course, something under your belt, the round of 5, perhaps what you're looking at next. But then this round, we got Las Vegas next week for 120 laps. Are your sights set now on the championship round, or are you going to be really looking at Las Vegas as well?
I mean, I'm pretty iffy. Some weeks I'm really good. Some weeks I'm just okay at best. So we're just gonna set our focuses on Las Vegas, just showing out there and just seeing where it takes us.
Braden Hunsinger, 48 laps, led in a win. Any final comments you'd like to add?
No, I mean, I'm just happy. So thank you, S&T, and yeah.
There we go. Braden Hunsicker, first-time winner today from, of course, the Iowa Speedway. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And with Hunsicker on the move, he'll come home first with another rookie. By all means, another new driver to look at in this league, Jack Drucker. And while he's familiar to us, it's his first race on Saturdays and a great first impression with 51 laps led and a second-place finish.
That was fun. That was definitely fun. Big shout out to Vinny Tigner because he got me in here on short notice. Yeah, I've been looking for a Saturday deal to run, so thanks to him and you guys at FTN for getting me in here to have a fun race. I don't know. I felt like we had a really good long run car, and everything after lap 100, it kind of got tough to pass, right? Because it kept being restart, restart, restart. When you're on stickers, it's really hard to force position. But props to Braden. He did a really good job at the end of that race. So proud to come home P2.
And I think it was clear that it was between you and Braden for a majority of the night. You guys combined leading 99 laps in total, so that's a firm majority. First off, you're stepping in for the very first time. You haven't been in this series before. What was it like getting used to a completely new field and running right at the front of it?
Well, you know, as well as I do, the Ignite series that ran on Mondays, that's pretty stiff competition, and I knew Vinny from over there too, so definitely used to running with stiff competition, right? And it's just as stiff over here. There's a lot of great drivers, a lot of good guys. It's pretty aggressive over here. I won't contest that. It's pretty aggressive, but I think that's also part of the nature with Iowa now with this repave. So I know it's fun. I'm excited to try to on some more wins here to the end of the season, but I'm not going to be upset finishing on the podium in the debut and leading laps. That's a good way to start.
And you mentioned Iowa looking a little bit different than it did in the beginning of the year. Did that change how you approach the track? We know it well as a multi-groove circuit, but it looks like a lot of guys are really forcing themselves to try to get low, although the restarts were a little bit different. Braden Hunsicker in particular like taking it high.
Yeah, there was a lot of guys around me that could use that second lane well. I always fired off just way too loose at the right rear to try to make that second lane work. But there was a little grip strip on the bottom where that's especially where it went long. I could drive it in deep and use up the right front, but that grip strip kept it turning, so I could have really good long run speed off of that. So it's I don't know, if we could have gotten a longer run, I think I could have given Braden a little bit of a run for his money. But you know, it's pushing for all you're worth there on those restarts and just seeing where it comes. But I wasn't going to move him for it. I'm new here. That's not how we race. You know, race clean, race straight up.
And by all means, brand new, but as we've seen you before, a veteran right from the jump. You know, you started your Ignite series with the win. You started here in SNT in second. It looks like when you start fresh, you often find the podium, and that was the case again tonight, Jack. Any final comments or anything else you'd like to add?
Like I said, big shout out to Vic Tigner for getting me in here on short notice. Thanks to you guys at FTN for broadcasting, and hope to give you another exciting finish next week.
Jack Drucker, a brand new day for the 56 team. First time on the weekend tour, and second place. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, David.
With Drucker on the move, one more to speak to. That's the number 96 of James Thurston. And, you know, I think he's going to be disappointed he didn't win. But the fact that this team was able to come back from 2 wrecks, from the front of the field to the back and working all the way up again, James, still a podium, although I'm sure you would have loved to win it with all that comeback and you did.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know what to say about it. It was just annoying really to get wrecked in the first place and get put back in that position. I don't really understand why that guy stayed out. I don't even know who it was. I think it was a 16. I guess he just wanted to put on display how ass he is at this game in front of everybody. I don't really know what else he was doing there. He just didn't go, and then I barely tapped him, and it looked like he just turned up into the field. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I recovered from it, but I'm frustrated that I wasn't able to really get a good shot at winning this race. Yeah, I wanted to win the race. I did not win the race, and I shouldn't have been back there to begin with. It's very hard to pass here. I managed to pass a lot of cars, and we finished third, so it's good.
Well, with that said, I mean, a win and a third place run are not at all horrible ways to start the first round of the playoffs. You're in a very good position to make it onto that championship round, and I'm sure your sights are set on that, but we also got a track you were really good at last year, Las Vegas, which you won at twice in 2024. So how's it feel returning to Sin City with that record of success?
I mean, a win is never a given. I hope I'll be fast there. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, and just hope to have speed. I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes.
25 laps led on the night for you, James. The podium leading a total of 124 with your tally added up. And, of course, a great start with 2 consecutive podiums to begin your playoff push. Any last comments you'd like to leave us with?
I think we need to stay up front next race. Hopefully not have to repair the car at all, and not have people stay out on very old tires.
Well, keeping it brief, 96 team and Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsport, that is James Thurston taking third. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thurston's going to wrap up the podium, and he comes back from the mid-teens and the high 20s. Of course, thanks to some incidents. Jack Drucker, as he began his Integrity Racing League career, gets a podium on debut, and Braden Hunsicker finally finds a way to win, and does so in dramatic fashion, putting a little bit of contact on to James Thurston. But I'll tell you this much, it was a great bump and run, and that's a way to win it. Checkered flag will fall from the Iowa Speedway, and so only one more race remains, and we'll have coverage of it for the round of 10 here in SNT. That is next week from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and we'd hope to have you there as we find out who we cut and who remains in the championship fight. Until then, I've been your host, David Kreutz, commentating and producing. If you enjoyed tonight's coverage, make sure to leave a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. From the virtual Iowa Speedway, this has been coverage of Race 11 of the 2025 B Saturday Night Thunder Grand National Series. Come back next week for race number 12 in Sin City, and we hope you'll be there till the end of the championship run in December. Congratulations to Braden Hunsicker on his first career win. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you had a fantastic night with us at FTN Broadcasting.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Boundless makes its presence felt. It will not be ignored. We're helping turn ideas into reality with a wealth of building products that take every architectural style to the next level. This is what it's like to imagine, build, and transform anything we want into exactly what we seek. This is what it means to be boundless.
Welcome to the Underdog Racing Podcast, where we talk to NASCAR drivers from all over the great country of America. Each week, we chat about the latest races, share stories from the track, and get to know the drivers behind the wheel. We break down the action, hear from drivers about their experiences, and dive into what drives them to keep racing. Whether you're a longtime NASCAR fan or just curious about the sport, this is the place for you. So tune in to the Underdog Racing Podcast, your inside look at the world of NASCAR. Catch us every Wednesday at 6:30 Eastern.
This message is brought to you by the rebrand of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This publication may not be reposted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. NASCAR Camping World Ford F-150. NASCAR Xfinity Ford Mustang. NASCAR Cup Series Next-Gen Ford Mustang. Arca Menards. This has been the publication of the redesign and rebranding of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This message may not be reposted, republicated, or rebroadcasted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. Thank you, and thanks for your time.